Good day, people of YouTube. What's going on? The name is AK, owner of Extreme Measure Productions, and I'm here bringing you yet a mixture of an X React and an X Talk. Now, I know by now you must have seen the leak from an anonymous developer talking about the Switch specs, basically giving out an entire spec sheet of the system, and most people are not very happy. As we've mostly known by now, the Switch is not a super powerful piece of hardware. And with this spec sheet, a lot of people are reacting saying, "Oh, Nintendo's doomed. There's no way they're going to be able to compete with Xbox or PlayStation. They're doomed. It's over. Switch is underpowered. It's going to sell as badly as the Wii U. Rada rada, rada rada." Yeah, we've seen all of that by now. This video isn't really about that, but it does tie in nicely with it. Yes, it's true the Switch is not as powerful as PS4 or the Xbox One. Even if the spec sheet is outdated, even if it's not the exact total specs of the Switch, we do know for the most part it's not as powerful as PS4 or Xbox One. And a lot of people are thinking that that is going to be its major downfall. Yes, it's true that specifications are important. The better the specs, the more complex the games can be. Aside from just looking better, you can also have stuff like better physics, more advanced lighting systems to create a more realistic effect. You can do all sorts of things with better specs, that is true. But for the most part, they're just not that super important. When you look at history of systems, the most powerful systems have not been the winners of the generations. The PS4 is really the first system to be the most powerful and also to have sold the most in a single generation, right? And if you look back at just recent history, you can see that that hasn't been the case. Look at 3DS versus PS Vita. PS Vita is leaps and bounds more powerful than the 3DS, and yet the 3DS has sold leaps and bounds more than the PS Vita. Wii, it had to take on the PS3 and the 360. Once again, leaps and bounds more powerful, yet the Wii did much better than both those systems. Look at the PS2. There are things that the GameCube and the original Xbox could do that the PS2 simply could not, and yet mop the floor with both those systems. You could combine their install bases, and they're still nowhere near the amount that the PS2 sold. So, and you can even look further back than that to show that specs are not that important. And Nintendo realizes that it cannot win solely on specs. So what it is doing, it is channeling its best asset. It's using its power of fun, creativity, ingenuity, and of course, innovation. Nintendo is relying on its unique ideas to try and spur the consumers. What we see with Microsoft and Sony is that they're going mano a mano with each other, but it's clear who's winning. Time and again, Sony has always done better than Microsoft. Xbox has yet to be the winner of a generation. Never has won a generation. The original Xbox didn't come close. The Xbox 360 put up a good fight, but the PS3 still ended up selling better. And now we see, even though the PS4 and the Xbox One are still, of course, both very active, the PS4 is still the clear winner of this generation. So with that said, if Microsoft is having a hard time competing against Sony, and Microsoft is basically offering a system that is almost identical to Sony's offering, how would it be for Nintendo? If it's already an unfair fight between two, it's going to be an even more unfair fight between three, and I think Nintendo realizes it. People say that, oh, Nintendo can't create a powerful system, they're too scared, they don't have the expertise. No, that's not true. That's not true. Up until the Wii, all of Nintendo's systems were either more powerful or just as powerful as their competitors within the generations. All of them. Yes, the N64 and GameCube had some hardships because of their media storage options, but for the most part, they were still either as powerful or more powerful than their competitors. When Nintendo realized that they weren't getting very far with creating powerful systems, they decided to go ahead and create more not traditional, opposite of that, more unconventional, more simplistic systems. And that's what we saw with the Wii and DS. That was the initiation of the Blue Ocean strategy. Basically what that means is that Nintendo decided to break away from the pack and do its own thing. Just like in a vast blue ocean, you could swim around for miles and miles and just do your own thing. That's what Nintendo decided to do. Instead of being in the red ocean where they were taking on their competitors head on, they went into the blue ocean where it was more peaceful and they could be unique, they could be themselves. And that won them big with the Wii and DS because those are their two best-selling systems ever. The Wii is their best-selling home system, the DS is their best-selling handheld system, and both of those systems are the two of the best-selling out of all gaming systems ever. So So that should tell you, it worked out for them. Yes, we know the Wii U did not do as well as the Wii. It's their least selling home system ever, and the 3DS did not do as good as the DS, but it's still done pretty well. But now Nintendo is trying to take a different approach and instead combine its home and handheld sectors to create basically the ultimate platform. A home system that you can take with you on the go. That is the message behind the Switch. All of the games that have been showed off, like Zelda, Skyrim, Mario Kart 8, Splatoon, all of these have been shown off extensively, and these are all what would be traditional home console experiences that you can now take with you wherever. We've seen the Switch being used on a laundromat, on a plane, in a car, at a basketball court, at a stadium, in a classroom, at a library, on the porcelain throne, which means toilet, by the way. We've seen it being used in all sorts of different situations, and that is the message that Nintendo is sending to the consumer base. This is a platform that you can take with you anywhere. It has the power to provide home console-like experiences with you, even 30,000 feet above the earth. That is something that the PS4 and Xbox One cannot offer. In order to take those games with you, you need an external piece of hardware. With the PS4, you can remote play with the PS Vita, but that requires you to have a data connection, and it also requires you to have a PS Vita. You're not always going to have a data connection, and the average person does not have a PS Vita. With the Xbox, you have Xbox Play Anywhere titles now that allow you to play on both Xbox and PC. But that's going to require you to have a PC that is capable enough to run those games in the first place. And in terms of portability, unless you have a laptop, a gaming laptop, which of course is expensive, then you're not going to be taking those experiences with you anywhere outside of your home anyway. So this goes to show you that Nintendo has found an avenue where they can be all by themselves. They haven't created a home system that's underpowered. They haven't created a portable that's powerful. They've created a whole new type of system. The Switch does not traditionally fit in either the home console or portable sector. It is its own thing. It's its own new category. If you look on Wikipedia, even they have it listed as a hybrid game system. Totally different from the home console or handheld sectors. So with that said, when it comes to the multi-platform titles, right? Let's be hypothetical for a second. Let's just say it's next year. It's now February 2018. The Switch has sold 10 million units. Third parties are just releasing games left and right for the Switch, right? The new Call of Duty, FIFA, Madden, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Need for Speed, major titles, all major titles have been announced for the Switch in addition to the PS4 and Xbox One. You may be able to play those games at 4K on your PS4 Pro or your Project Scorpio, but on the Switch, you'll be able to take those games with you wherever and play them whenever. That is going to be the sales pitch. When people see these games spread across these three platforms, they're going to decide, do I want to play these games in 4K, or is it better if I just take it with me whenever? We've heard reports that, the Switch's screen still looks really, really good. So even if the graphics quality of the game itself is not as high as it is on PS4 and Xbox One, nothing is going to be able to beat that portability factor. And what all the commercials with the Switch have shown off is that, people have busy lives. They always have something to do. They're not always home. With young adults, or, just middle-aged adults is what I mean. Young adults or middle-aged adults, you have obligations. You have to be other places. You can't always be home. And by the time you get home, you're probably tired anyway. So you're probably not even in the mood for gaming. But now, whether you want to curl up with it in bed or whether you want to play it while you're on your commute to work, you can do that. You can't do that with your PS4 or your Xbox One. You can't. And that is what's going to be the major selling point for the Switch. And that's why I say the Switch has no direct competitors. Nintendo is not trying to take on Sony and Microsoft toe-to-toe. They're just trying to go about it in their own unique way, a way that Sony and Microsoft, as of now, are not able to replicate. And even Microsoft admitted that, they like the concept of being able to take a system on the go. So we'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. Now, for those of you concerned about third-party support, Nintendo's already the middle stepchild. The redhead middle stepchild, so they already stand out. When it comes to PlayStation and Xbox, they have the trust. Well, I shouldn't say trust. They have the guaranteed third-party support, right? Those companies like EA, Activision, Ubisoft, they know they can make money by releasing games on PlayStation and Xbox and PC. When it comes to Nintendo, they're taking a gamble. But if the Switch sells well, they're going to have no choice but to bring their games over to the Switch. Even if it's not as powerful, they're going to find a way because they can make money from it if the system sells well. When it comes down to development, we've heard from a lot of developers, both major and indie, that the Switch is easy to develop for. Most developers, even if they've announced that they are not bringing their game to the Switch at this time, they've still said, yeah, we like the hardware, we like the concept. And for those who are working on the system, they've said, yeah, it's really easy to develop for. Nintendo has done a good job. EA themselves said that they've been working with Nintendo since the early stages of the Switch to make sure that the Switch is a good, developer-friendly platform. We know the Switch can support major gaming engines like Unreal Engine 4, Unity, and others. So Nintendo definitely made sure to make the Switch compatible with the tools that developers are using. All these developers are truly waiting for is to make sure that they have an audience to sell their games to. That's why we see a wait-and-see approach for the most part. But if the Switch sells well, even if it can't do as well as the PS4, it is definitely going to hurt both Sony and Microsoft. Trust me. Because when it comes down to that portability factor, the Switch is the one and only. If you want to play games at 4K on your console, you can do that on the PS4 Pro or the Scorpio. So boom, you have a choice there. But if you want to take your home console experiences with you on the go, your only choice is the Nintendo Switch. Will that help it sell? We'll just have to wait and see. Alright guys, I'm going to close the video here. Hope you liked it, and I will catch you in the next one. Until then, see you later.